I want you to watch this. I'm going to ask an AI agent to edit my Power BI semantic model in plain English, and it's actually going to apply these changes. Not suggest a tax measure, not give me a code to copy and paste. I mean, modify the model. And before you call it fake, trust me, it's probably going to glitch at least once. It's Power BI. If it works perfectly the first time, something is wrong. There is a lot of noise right now around MCP servers. A lot of AI will replace developers, a lot of screenshots without context, a lot of hype. So, what I want to do today is slow this down, actually, explain what this is, and explain what are two MCP servers, what's production ready versus preview, and how this connects under the hood. And most importantly, how to use this in a way that doesn't destroy your model because it's very powerful, and powerful tools always bring chaos when they're used incorrectly. So I've spent basically the last week testing this properly from the dev workflow perspective, so we don't have to do it. Let me break it down to you today. So the first thing to do is to fix the biggest misunderstanding that we have. There are two Power BI MCP servers, right? And they're not interchangeable. And this is exactly where most of the confusion online is coming from. Let me explain this clearly. So first thing first is modeling MCP server. This one is for the development, okay? It modifies your semantic models. And if you're not deeply technical, a semantic model is a structured data layer behind your Power BI report. It contains tables, relationship between tables, measures, which contains calculations written in DAX, metadata, which is a descriptive info about fields. So think of it as an engine behind the visuals, okay? And modeling MCP also allows AI to create or modify measures. It can edit relationships, it can update metadata, rename or refactor model objects, apply structure changes. So it's very, very simple, okay? Modeling MCP equals change the model. Then we have remote MCP server that has a completely different purpose. It does not modify anything. It connects to your modeling fabric and Microsoft Cloud Analytics platform. And then it allows AI to query it, okay? So that means it retrieves the schema, which is the structure of your data. It generates DAX queries, it executes those queries, and it returns results. So remote MCP equals ask questions to the model. That brings us to the two MCP models that we have. One edits and one queries, and they have different responsibilities, and both are preview features right now. Now, what is MCP? So MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. That sounds heavy, but the idea is very, very simple. So AI models like Copilot are very good at generating texts, but Power BI is not a text, okay? So Power BI is not a text. Power BI is a structured analytical engine, similar to analysis services. So MCP acts as a translator. It exposes specific tools. Instead of AI guessing what to do, it says, here is the tool you're allowed to call, create a measure, edit relationships, update metadata. And that's important, okay? Because without MCP, AI would just generate DAX and hope it pastes it somewhere else. But with MCP, you can execute structured operations. It's controlled, it's constrained, and it's tool-based. Now, let's level this up, okay? So if you're serious about using this professionally, you should be working in PBIP format, which stands for project, Power BI projects. Normally in a PBIX, the file is binary. So binary means you cannot open it in a text editor, okay, and see what changed, okay? So PBI converts your model into a folder-based project, and inside that folder is something that's called TMDL, Tabular Model Definition Language. And TMDL is a human reliable version of your model, okay? So think of it exactly as you see it on the screen right now. Think of a lot of different Power BI dashboards inside of a folder. So basically, you're interacting with them as if they're inside of that folder exactly. So instead of hidden binary data, your model becomes structured text files. And you might be asking, why does this matter? And I would say because AI can read the text, AI can modify the text, and Git can track the text. So when MCP modifies your model, it modifies TMDL files. You get it? And that means you can see exactly what changed. So this is the difference between a toy demo and a real development workflow. All right, so it's finally time to hit our desktops. But before that, a quick technical detail that will save you frustrations. Power BI desktop must be open 100%. Okay, so don't forget that. When modeling MCP connects, it connects through a local analysis server port, and that's the same mechanism Tabular Editor uses. Okay, so that means when you open Power BI desktop, it spins up a local engine. MCP connects to that engine, and if the desktop isn't open, there's nothing to connect to. Okay, so open your model first before we do anything else. All right. So obviously, the first thing you're gonna have to do is you basically have to download the VS Code. First thing first, just do that. I think you should probably head to the website of Microsoft. You're gonna find the link there. Download it, and then once you do that, activate the agent, the AI agent. It's pretty simple. It's something that you're already gonna find there because they're trying to promote it. So it's the first thing you're gonna see once you do that. So once you've done this, you're gonna have to basically head to this icon here that's called extensions and look for Power BI. So just write Power BI. For me, I've already installed that, but for you, probably you have to basically, if you didn't install, you're gonna see install, like an install button, blue button like this one. So just click install, and then once you've installed it, that's it. Then I think first step is to basically open your Power BI dashboard or Power BI desktop, and then the second thing is to basically install the modeling MCP, and then once that is done, and you've already have your GitHub connected to your VS Code, which is a very important step for you to do this. So once you have your GitHub connected, then you're gonna see this chat panel here on the side with all the basically the AI agent models that you can use, and you're just gonna have to ask your basically AI agent to connect to your Power BI desktop, and it will do it immediately. So as we've mentioned earlier, you're gonna have to create a folder, and then inside of that folder, you're gonna have to put your Power BI dashboards, all the dashboards you want the AI to process. But in my case, I just going to use one dashboard. So let me just show you. So here's my dashboard. It's a sales dashboard. I am going to open it. First thing first. In any case, if you didn't really open it, once you open the folder using VS Code and you ask anything from the AI, it's going to open that dashboard automatically. But it's better if you get it open, so basically any query goes directly to the dashboard, and you basically eliminate any confusions. Because maybe you're probably going to have multiple dashboards inside of the folder, and the AI might get confused. So just open the dashboard you want to interact with, so it knows exactly which dashboard you're talking about. Second step is I'm going to open the folder using VS Code. So just note that if you've already installed VS Code on your computer, you should be able to see this option here that's called Open with Code. Okay, so once you click on it, and I've already explained before that you're going to have to install all your dependencies. You're going to have to install Power BI inside of the VS Code. You're going to have to make sure that your VS Code is connected to GitHub. You're going to have to make sure that you have, basically your subscription with GitHub and all these options that you see here. So everything has to be already set, and then before you can actually do anything with it. Okay, so these are all models that we have. I think we're all set. Perfect. Now, can you please connect to the sales PBI on my desktop? If it is already done, confirm, not do it. So it's basically already connected to the dashboard. As you see, confirmed here that it's connected. Now we might ask it a simple question. Can you please return all the tables that we have on the dashboard with the descriptions? Can you please return? Just use the PBI word instead of dashboard, so we don't really confuse it. Because when you say dashboard, the AI will probably think that you're speaking about fabrics, and it would try to connect to the workspace. So use PBI and then basically even desktop sometimes, so it knows that you're referring to the file that is inside of your desktop. Okay, so we're asking it to return all the tables we have on the PBI in the desktop. There you go. There you go. So basically, it just returns everything, all the details about your file, all the connections, the source, it even gave you the Python code. Because for me, I'm using a Python connection because this file is basically just dummy data that I use for testing purposes. I'll probably link that code in this description if somebody wants to use it later on for their Power BI, studying, or if they're trying to build something. And regarding the fabric, as I've touched based on it, remote MCP can connect can connect to the fabric basically, which is the Microsoft Cloud Data Platform. All right, and instead of editing the model, it allows AI to query it. So that means business users can type questions to the data. They can ask probably inside of the VS Code. You can even build for them something. If you're really a developer and you would like to build a solution that can actually connect to your data models, you can use MCP to do that, and then create a chatbot or something where people can ask questions and it would interact with that data. There's security concerns that we're going to touch base and talk about in a bit, but that's the point. You get the main idea, right? All right, so let's try something more fun. Let's try something fun. So this is our data model. I just want to show you my data table. This is what I have. It's pretty small. I don't really have a lot of data points. I want to update that data table, sorry. All right, so let's check the results. I think the first thing we're gonna have to do is to refresh. Before we check the results, the good thing is that you see all the steps that were done here already recorded. So any change that is happening on your dashboard is already being recorded, and that's the beauty of this. It's not just AI running changes on your dashboard, but you can also track every single change of whatever happened on your file. You can see the details, you can look at the code, you can study it, which is something you're going to have to do because you need to understand what's happening in your data model. All right. But let's see the results. So first thing we're going to have to refresh. So the beauty of this is that it did really add a calculated column, but it created a table in my Power Query. So basically, use also Python to modify that table that I had already. It's strange because it says that. Okay, so this is the column that has the issue. So I don't really think that we need this anyways. So what I'm going to do is um, current week. So I think the issue is basically here because it's saying that we cannot apply operator to type data number. So basically, it's complaining because we have this operator. Okay, let's try this. Okay, um, let's do duration. Okay. Um, Perfect. Okay, and then here. And 0, 0, 0, and close. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. Then we're probably gonna have to remove this, delete. So that's the result. This is our date table, pretty much with everything that we would need. Okay, so it's a beautiful date table with every single thing that you might need in your time intelligence or whatever you're going to build in a dashboard. So perfect. This is done. Now I would like to build some DAX in the dashboard. Let's move on to the AI. All right. So let me just. I'm just gonna try to basically ask it to create some DAX. So in Power BI, create a separate measures table. I want it to be called DAX calculated table named there or here. Then create a display folder inside and name it time and the difference and place all the time those users in that folder. Assume the date label is already use it. Okay, so this is a prompt. Take a look at it. Let's go. All right, so I think it's done. Now let's check our results. All right, so what is our PBI? Bam. Okay, that looks very cool. Okay, so it created actually a measure table, and as you see here, there is like this folder that's called time intelligence with pretty much all the time intelligence measures that we've asked it to do, which is pretty cool, isn't it? And if you come here to your data model, you're going to see that probably it also added the definitions, descriptions. No, you can ask it to add descriptions later, but it can also do that. But that's pretty good. Let's test it. Going to try to drop it on the table here. Oh, so this is basically why you need to have basic understanding in Power BI and not just rely on AI. And all the companies need to hire people that understand Power BI and that can use AI so they can basically facilitate building the dashboards. And dashboard delivery is going to be much faster and much better because these guys would understand the logic behind the Power BI dashboards and you would understand the behavior of the data set so they can fix the issues. If you're just a business user, you're trying to use AI to build a dashboard, you're probably going to run on errors like this, and if you don't know how to deal with them, then you would basically be stuck, and you need somebody who understands Power BI in order for them to actually fix it for you. So the issue here is that okay, so our date is not really supported. So it's referring to what we had used. Okay, so the AI used the date. So let's check the date. Here we go. So this is basically a text column, and we have to change the format. Okay. Okay, so now it's working. Let's see. So if I do sales year to date, and okay, so date. So the year is already selected. Then give me just month. Perfect. It's working. So this is how it works. All right. All right. So now we're going to be addressing the biggest elephant in the room, which is security. One of the biggest questions that probably you're going to be asking is this: is sending my data to the internet? And short answer is no. not in the way that people think. So this is a very secure process. When we're using modeling MCP locally, it connects to Power BI Desktop through local analysis services port. And that's the same internal engine that tools like Tabular Editor use. Okay, so that connection stays on your machine. It is not exporting your data sets, it's not uploading your tables, and it's not really sending millions of rows to the internet or somewhere else, of course. Otherwise, responses are going to take forever to load. It's interacting with the model structure through control tools. So now the important nuisance: AI models process prompts. So what gets sent to the internet, I would say, is your prompt, but not your data set. Unless you manually basically paste that sensitive data into the prompt, which we don't do that, then it's never going to be exposed. MCP exposes structured operations like create measures or edit relationships, and it does not stream your model or data to the internet at all. Now let's talk about remote MCP. So remote MCP runs inside Microsoft Fabric, which is Microsoft's cloud environment tied to the tenant. So what happened there is the AI generates a DAX query. Fabric's executed it inside of the tenants and then returns the result. So the dataset itself never leaves the organization boundaries. It's governed by the same identity system, Power BI already uses, like Azure Active. You still have proper permissions, you still, need proper governance, and you still need to know who accesses what. So this isn't some, random public API exposed to your warehouse. It's authenticated, it's permission based, it's controlled. And honestly, the bigger risk is not MCP. The bigger risk is developers approving changes without reviewing them. So security isn't just about where the data goes, and it's about who controls the changes. That's why I keep repeating, plan, confirm, apply, and validate. So AI does not remove governance; it increases the needs of it, I would say. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys found it very helpful. I've tried to put everything together in one video. I know that it's a long one, but I think you are really going to understand MCP to the core if you watch this video from the beginning to the end. Um, and last but not least, thank you so much for watching the entire video. If this helped you actually understand what's going on under the hood, hit like. It really helps the algorithm push the video to more serious Power BI developers who are trying to cut through the noise. Drop me a comment if you've already tested MCP. I genuinely want to know what broke for you because that's where the real learning happens. And subscribe if you're into clear, structured, non-nonsense Power BI and AI workflows. I'm building this channel for developers who want depth, not hype, and we're just getting started. In the next video, we're going deeper into remote MCP and real-world DAX query patterns. No hype, no magic, just clean, professional workflows. Let's build this properly, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.